The mighty struggles continue for the Toronto Raptors. As we all know, they head to Cleveland to take on the Cavs tonight. And obviously no Fred VanVleet, still no OG Anunoby, and we hear today no Malachi Flynn. So it's just not panning out to be fair. We already know the guard situation is not very strong for the Toronto Raptors. They bring in Armani Brooks, who ends up playing a little bit of this game. And the Toronto Raptors drop it 104-96 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've now lost three straight games. They've lost, what is it now? 5 of 7 coming out of the break, 6 of 8, something like that. They haven't been very good coming out of the All-Star break. And I mean, yes, with no Fred, no OG, and now no Malachi, it's not looking pretty. Plus Cleveland getting healthier. It's a tough one. But the Raptors, they had instances in this game where they could take over, but they didn't. Let's get to the first quarter, right? Back and forth action offensively. You're down by 30-29 after one quarter. Hey, lots of ball to play. Second quarter, offense dries up. You lose the quarter by 12, and now you're down 13. I believe it was like 50. No, is it 60? What are we at here? 59 to 43. Something like that. Offense not going at all, really. And you're struggling down 13 at the break. Now we go in the third quarter. And the Toronto Raptors make this big run. And they get the deficit down to 1. And they have 2 opportunities, right? This was about 6:50, 6:30 to go in the third quarter. You cut it down to 1. Tells you how good of a start to the quarter you had on both ends of the ball. And then you have 2 opportunities to take the lead, and that's what it means. They miss a shot, you come down, miss a shot. They come down, miss a shot. You come down, miss a shot. And those 2 shots that the Raptors missed were chances to take the lead. And from that 6.5 minute mark or whatever it was, you know how many points the rest of the quarter the Toronto Raptors had? 1 point, and it was a Pascal Siakam free throw 2 minutes after the drought had started. Right, so there's 6.5 to go. They don't score anything for 2 minutes. Pascal gets to the line. He knocks down 1 of 2. That was the last point scored by the Toronto Raptors in the third quarter. Somehow you win the quarter 16-14, but it did not feel good enough because you got that deficit down to 1, and that massive, massive drought offensively allowed them to build that lead up back to 11. So yeah, technically you won the quarter by 2, but it damn near doesn't feel like it. And we go in the fourth, and the Raptors decide to start shooting the ball extremely well after scoring a combined, 36 in the second and third quarter. No, 33, excuse me. In the second and third quarter combined, they drop a 34 piece in the fourth quarter. The problem, you allow 31. Yeah, you win the quarter by 3, and there were instances late in this game, right? Raptors get down to 5, and Gary Trent Jr. fouls Garland literally at half court, and I'm just like, I understand you're going for the steal, but with about a minute 15 to go, you're down by 5. That's a giant gamble. Plus that foul put them in the bonus. Garland goes to the line, drills both free throws. Then the next possession, Gary Trent Jr. Gets the ball underneath the bucket and goes for a bounce pass to, I want to guess it was Scotty underneath the tin, but it went right. It was a bounce pass right to the chest of the Cleveland guy, and I'm like, Gary, what is that? Now, I'm not blaming Gary Trent Jr. for the loss because he was better than previous games, but the team overall didn't play very well. Scotty Barnes was great. Pascal took a lot of shots, 22 attempts from the field. But the story of the game, again, is the free throw shooting and not being able to clean up the glass. Now, we'll get to the specific stats a little bit later on, but it's pretty wild how things were skewed. So, who did what for the Toronto Raptors in this 8-point loss to the Cavs? Well, Khem Birch, I wanted to bring him up because, 26 minutes played. He only had 5 points, 8 boards, 3 dimes. Was like 2 of 7 or 2 of 8 from the field. Not pretty, but he had 2 steals, a block, and the guy was a plus 20 while he was on the floor. Considering you lost by 8, I don't know. Something worked there with Cam, and he only played 26 minutes, but it is what it is. Pascal Siakam, as I mentioned, took a lot of shots. Was 8 of 22 from the field, 7 of 13 from the line, almost 50% from the free throw line. You lost by 8. He missed 6 free throws. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You got to hit your freebies. He was 1 for 4 from 3, had a steal and a block in the game, ended with 24 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes. Doesn't look terrible, but the 6 missed free throws is just not pretty. It just isn't. Scotty Barnes in the game, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. After the last game, him kind of being invisible and looking out of sorts and getting angry with some of the Raptor players and his own game. It wasn't a pretty game for Scotty. Bounces back with 19, 12, and 6. Had 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. So again, 3 missed free throws there. Him and Pascal combined for 9 missed free throws. The team missed 10 overall. And those are 2 of your best guys missing the free throws. That's the part that hurt the most. If I'm watching Precious miss 5, fine, I understand it. But watching Pascal and Scotty, miss all those free throws, it just really hurts. He was 3-6 from the line, 0 of 2 from distance. Did have 3 steals in the game to Scotty. And I saw quite a few times when it attacked Evan Mobley on the inside. And quite a few times got the better of him. But both youngins, both Mobley and Scotty, played incredible games in this one. And both players, just absolutely incredible basketball minds. I mean, and I say minds, not players, because it's not about being the best player. It's about being the best player with the best mind. And, these 2 players, not only are they showing themselves offensively in this game, I think he dropped 20 and 17, did Mobley. But the defense these guys bring is incredible. Scotty with 3 steals in the game, so a great job from both guys. Gary Trent Jr., as I mentioned, a better game tonight, but again, some late game tough ones and some missed threes that he usually makes, right? He was 19 points, 3 boards, a dime, shot 7 of 19 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, was 2 of 8 from distance. So again, better, but still not great, and had 2 steals in the game. And the reason I say not great is because without Fred, without OG, heck, you can even say without Malachi Flynn, you need that shooting. You need effective, efficient shooting from your key guys. Pascal was 8 of 22. Gary Trent was 7 of 19. It's just not efficient enough. Scotty was great, but again, the volume wasn't there. Both guys took more than Scotty. So it's tough to watch Gary and Pascal shoot the tough percentage they did, knowing that those are our chance to win this game, right? Now, Chris Boucher has something to say about that, though. And what a game. What a basketball game for Chris Boucher. I think he was absolutely spectacular in this one. The confidence was flowing clearly. And the confidence never really wavers for Chris Boucher, but it's when the confidence is there and he's making it happen. 21 points, 7 boards, and an assist in the game. 8 of 13 from the field, was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 3 of 5 from distance. I believe 2 of those were in the fourth quarter, maybe even all 3. He had 3 steals and a block. I thought Boucher was much, much better than lately. I think he was really good in this game. And a huge factor of why the Raptors were able to hang around there in the fourth quarter. So a great job from Chris Boucher in this one. Now, team stats. The Raptors shot under 40% from the field. Like on the road against Cleveland, when you shoot 39% from the field and 25% from three-point range, I mean, that's just not good, right? Thaddeus Young didn't get, your bench gave you squat. I think Precious was 4 of 10, but he was like a minus 23 while he was on the floor. And everybody else, I believe no one else made a shot. Svi missed 1. I believe Yuta missed 1. I believe Thaddeus Young missed all 4. Like, your bench gave you nothing. That's why Scotty played 41, or Pascal played 41, Scotty played 40, or vice versa. You had to, because you got nothing from your bench. Now, your bench is so short without, having Malachi, without Fred, without OG. It was short to begin with. You lose those guys, it shows glaring holes for this team. Now, also, 62% from the free throw line. You missed 10 free throws. Again, a big factor of why you lost this game. However, Cleveland shot 46% from the field, only 31% from three-point range, and 65% from the free throw line. They missed 8 free throws. So you can kind of count that out if you want. But the Raptors were also minus 13 on the glass. That's just not pretty. And they were only, I believe, minus 1 on the offensive glass, which, okay, pretty even there. However, in the second chance points off of those, off of the one extra offensive board, the Raptors are minus 13. It tells you right there. They I believe it was the same in the last game against Orlando, where the offensive boards were fairly similar, but the second chance points were through the roof the other side. It just tells you the Raptors kind of gave up on the possession or started going the other way without securing the ball. You got to finish off the play, and they weren't. Very evidently, And the Raptors were plus 10 in turnovers. I think they had 17. We only had the 7, so very clean there. And points off of those turnovers, Raptors were plus 14, so they played their game there, which was nice. But again, and they're also minus 9 in the fast break. Raptor fans, I'm going to tell you this. We can sit here and get mad at the Toronto Raptors. We can sit here and complain all this and that. The storyline coming into the season was the defense should be there from this team. Offensively, you just don't know what you're going to get. And with Fred, with OG, with Gary, with Pascal, with Scotty, hey, it seemed to flow nicely, especially in that 8-game win streak, which was great. But since then, with OG being out and with Fred being out, it's just thrown this team for a loop, and they clearly have not been able to counter it. Because shooting was always going to be a problem. We knew it was going to be an issue. We were kind of hoping for some guard move at the deadline. Obviously, it didn't happen. Thaddeus Young comes in, and he's been okay at times. But you miss the guard, especially now with Fred and Malachi out. You've gone to Amari Brooks. Or Amari, yeah, I think it's Amari Brooks. And you've resorted to playing Khem Birch 26 minutes. And you have to. You don't have a choice, and it's getting to a point where it's really rough. You're just hoping and praying that Fred, OG, or Malachi just come back to the lineup, please. But of course, we want them back healthy. And that's funny, Raptor fans, because as much as we're losing, we've lost 3 consecutive games. The Brooklyn Nets continue to lose, so we're not really losing any ground in that number 7-8 seed in the play-ins, which is kind of crazy, but you want to start putting some breathing room. And in order for the Raptors to do that, they have to win their next game. They have to go into San Antonio and win that game. Wednesday night, 8:30 tip-off. Again, another team in San Antonio who is not very good. I believe they're not even in a play. I don't know where they are. They're definitely not in a play-in seed. I think they're at least in the bottom 4 or 5 in the Western Conference. I know the Raptors aren't playing very well, but we talked about before the Orlando game. We talked about before the Detroit game. These are teams you're supposed to beat. Tonight, yeah, you weren't supposed to beat Cleveland. With the injuries you had, with the way they've been playing, they're getting healthier on the road. It was all pointing to the Raptors losing this game. Could they have won this game? No doubt. But they didn't. San Antonio on Wednesday in San Antonio, that's a winnable game. That's one you want to grab. Whether it's ugly, you don't care. You need a W to find a way. I've changed the jersey back to my Demo Raptors purple. If that doesn't work, I might have to go back to the Champions hat, even though it's this team playing far from it right now. But just to try and switch things up, because something needs to change. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and not the game tonight, smack the like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video. Thoughts on the game. Would you like? Would you not like from today's game today for the Toronto Raptors? The Instagram link or the Twitter link is down below. So follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below. So follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition. Oh, geez, tomorrow. Where the heck are they tomorrow? Columbus. I believe it's in Columbus at 7 o'clock, 7:30, something like that. Just praying to God they can get a win. Because right now, the Leafs have lost 3 straight. The Raptors, or 3 straight? At least 2 straight. I think it's Buffalo. Yeah, 2 straight. Buffalo and then the other one last night. So I believe it's 2 straight there. The Raptors have now lost 3 straight. It is a tough time at Toronto sports. We are having some tough times. You got to find a way to bounce back for the Raptors, though, on Wednesday in San Antonio. 8:30 tip-off. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.